the biggest thing is to look at the breeze, understand what it's going to do to the boat, and then have speed according to the conditions. When it is breezier, you are going to need to use more speed, and in the lighter conditions you can allow to be not as aggressive on the throttle. The key rule as well is there's no point in forcing the issue. We've got a lot of owners that when they've come back and the big summer nor'easters come in, if they don't have to get anywhere, pick up a mooring, the breeze will always die. There's no point in getting yourselves and the boat into a position that makes everyone uncomfortable. I guess today we're just trying to look at the basics to make life as easy as possible and to keep everyone happy. There's nothing worse than having, you know, a bad experience to sort of tarnish people's joy of the day. Here at Windcraft, with all of the boats that we sell and even second-hand boats, we do offer handovers. For the new boats, it's actually a full day event, and which a big part of it is the manoeuvring of the boat. No one's born parking boats, so we find it very important to make sure that the owners are comfortable, and we do encourage people to go and use their boats in a bigger space such as this versus just gripping it straight out of a Marina Berthing tight confines and getting themselves into a stressful situation. Okay, so at the moment we're out in a lot of water here, but we've got a mark up in front of us and we're going to reverse up to that mark. The first thing to do to make your life ever so easy is to negate the wind side of it immediately, which to do that is to put the stern into the breeze. Therefore, all the wind is doing is only pushing you further away from your intended destination. It's not pushing you sideways or anything like that. So the mark's on our starboard bow and the breeze is coming from the northeast. So I'll actually turn and then start reversing up. Another thing with the helm in reverse, you've got a big rudder blade there that has a rudder stock at the front edge of it. When you're in reverse, there's a lot of force on the rudder that wants to do its own thing. You always have to have a hand on the wheel. Two is preferable, but obviously you need to then change for throttle controls. So the mark will be coming into view now, I would think. I'm going to straighten the helm. I've got it clicked into reverse. And then we're going to increase the throttle and adjust the wheels accordingly. I find sitting here it is the most intuitive place to sit, because if you're wanting to go that way, I just turn the wheel that way. If I want to go that way, I push the wheel that way. Some people stand and have their hands behind their back, but we find that's very complicated in tight situations. So you can see here I've got control over the boat. The breeze isn't pushing me sideways, we're just tracking straight back. As we get closer to the mark, we're just going to back off our revs. It's still in reverse. You don't want to be in neutral and have no speed, because if the wind was to change, you want to have some control. I've gone into neutral now. Clicking into forward to get the prop turning the right way, and then a bit of throttle. With the throttle, think of it as a brake that you're depressing as you're acquiring it. Instead of giving it a fistful forward, because that will then shoot your boat back out of the pen that you've just tried to get into. That gives your crew enough time to get the lines on board and securely put her away. So with that, I guess we'll head into the marina and now put it into practice. So now that the transom's into the breeze, we're just going to run down for a little bit. The boat's in neutral, we're just getting it all sorted out, so we're not putting it in reverse with the helm hard over one side, which is going to then obviously do the reverse action of what we're wanting out of our helms. So I've got neutral rudder, I'm going dead straight, clicking it into reverse to just get the prop starting to spin the correct way. As I feel the boat to slow, I'll then increase the throttle, all the while keeping a neutral helm, increasing the throttle, which will then take the boat to a standstill, and then when we start reversing, that's when the helm will become important again. So we're starting to reverse now. I'm wanting to go that way, so I'm going to turn that way. And here we go. When we're in the berth with this wind direction, the important line to get is going to be the stern line, which is going to stop the breeze from pushing this back out of the berth. So when we get fully in, and only when we're fully in the berth, I'll get Ross to step on the dock and pass me up the stern line. Then he'll go and secure the bow, and I'll secure the spring line, which in this case is the most dormant of the lines. As we're tracking down, the breeze is coming from over here, so we're wanting to stay middle to that side of the breeze. We don't want to be too close to here. It's essentially a lee shore, so we want to be in the middle for our manoeuvring. Our berth is just coming into sight now, so now I'm thinking of exactly how I'm going to approach it and what speed's necessary and what turning circle. As mentioned before, the breezier it is, the more aggressive the turning circle and acceleration needs to be, but on a calm day like this, we can just do a nice slow arc in and get the boat all the way in before Ross needs to go onto the dock. I'm still in gear reverse here, which is just allowing me to get in. Once my transom passes the pontoon, I will go to neutral, correcting the helm straight, flicking it into forward, and then gentle throttle. Now Ross will hand me the stern line. So the boat's not going to go anywhere now. The breeze is holding us to the dock, and this is holding us from going out. Ross is now back on board doing the bow line, and I'll get the spring line. The mistakes that I commonly see are not enough throttle and commitment. It's easy for me to stand here on someone else's investment, but you do have to really back yourself and park the boat. If you're of two minds and you're halfway in, halfway out of a berth, and then you try and slow the boat, if the breeze is on the bow, it will then push the bow across, and your stern could then go across into other boats. That's typically what I see being the biggest issue, and the panicking. There's no need for the panicking. As I said previously, if it's all turning very ugly very quickly, pick up a mooring, give the office a call. We are here 6 days a week, and then even on the Sunday, you know, most of us live local, so if it really was a bad situation, you would call for help. Most marinas would have a marina manager or a tender service that would allow you to go and pick up a mooring.